Let's look at the banking system. You are making a deposit, and then that deposit is used by the banks in order to make money for them, while the depositors use control. What do I mean with that? Simply, the moment that you give your money to the bank, it's not your money anymore. We think it's our money, but it belongs to the bank. There's a promissory note to give you money back. But if the bank goes bankrupt, your money is actually part of the bank's asset. And we've seen it several times here in South Africa where this happened over the last 20, 30 years that I've been in the game. So what are some of the key problems that we face with the system that we're in? There's an absolute total lack of education. The school and financial and educational system is never going to teach you any financial literacy. They're going to teach you that they want you to believe in. In other words, the higher the risk, the higher the growth, or that you need money to make money. That kind of thing. That suits them, but that is not financial literacy. Financial literacy is when you know that you can get an infinite return by having the skills. So the thing is, they are going to leave you unaware of how money flows and how your money flows to them at the end of the day. And the way that they do it is you relinquish control when you look at expert-based investing. Expert-based investing is when you give your money over to someone else. So the moment that you give your money away to someone else, then the third parties, the banks, the insurance companies, the pension funds, those are the people that's going to make the money. It's not you. And we need to understand how it works. Unfortunately, people do not take the responsibility to understand that. In other words, the people's lack visibility into where and how their money is going to work for them. The wealth creator strategy that we as wealth creators follow. The wealth creator strategy is intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. Okay, risk therefore, and that is that we should focus on. Risk is when you do not know what you're doing. The only way to offset risk is to have high-value skills. You cannot get a high-value skill and learn the high-value skill the moment that you give your money to someone else. If you give your money to someone else, you've got no control over that. That means you cannot control the risk. In other words, you can't mitigate it. You can't eliminate that risk. It's simply because you haven't got any control over the risk. On top of that, you can't learn the skills in order to be able to do it. And you've got no control over the growth. So you are 100% dependent on them, and their job through inflation in fees will be to keep you enslaved for the rest of your life. So every day people loses extremely a lot of money, millions, due to inflation and various hidden fees. Then it becomes severe, the amount of wealth that we lose. And that means that they extract that to benefit them. So the system profits from these inefficiencies, definitely not you as the individual. So what are some of the misconceptions that people have? I see so many people say, yeah, but my money is safe in the bank. It's not. Go to any bank, make fixed deposit, and ask them to give you a certificate that they guarantee your money back. They're going to laugh at you. It can't be done. This is what they're going to tell you. Why not? Simply because they know it's not safe. If there's a run on the bank, on any of the banks in South Africa at the moment, there is not sufficient money because of the fiat system that we're in. And that fiat system is based on trust. But the moment that there's a run on the banks, there is not enough money to give your money that you think is there back to you. So many people, therefore, depend on third parties, expert-based investment to manage their fund and creating a blind trust in these systems. And then on top of that, they don't understand it and they don't want to take the responsibility in order to be able to understand. So what are the strategies that the wealthy people and entrepreneurs are following? They self-educate and self-manage their finances. You can't give that responsibility to someone else if you want to get out of this rat race. It's impossible. Therefore, they're going to start businesses, build systems that benefit them. And they can even use the financial industry's mechanisms that they've got on condition that they've got that level of education. But to get to that level means that you first have to educate. Most people don't know this. Most people don't know how to get it simply because they haven't got that training or that education. We need to understand how money flows through the system. The moment that we understand that, we can start taking control. We need to learn to ask the better questions in terms of when it comes to investment. You know, if you don't know how to invest in yourself, if you do not know how to invest in property or in business or in cryptos, you're going to have a serious problem if you want to get ahead in life. In other words, what we need to do as wealth creators, we must learn, because all skills are learned, how to create, to grow, to protect our wealth. In other words, we need to leverage the knowledge, our experience, our competency. So what's the final takeaway? You know, control and education are the keys to financial freedom. Without that, my friend, it's going to be very difficult. The moment that you start relying on a system without understanding it, it puts you as an individual in a huge disadvantage. Wealth creation requires active management and informed decisions.